I hope everyone is enjoying the great sunny weather we're experiencing at the moment. And although it was a half term last week, it's the 1st of June today and the schools are back. Potentially a lot of businesses are able to reopen, and in line with that, the government decided to announce changes to a couple of initiatives on Friday, one of those being the job retention scheme, the furlough position, and they've introduced flexible furloughing from the 1st of July. So at the moment, the furlough scheme is still due to run to the 31st of October 2020. The employee will still receive 80% of their salary up until that point if they are on furlough throughout the period. But from the employer's perspective, there have been a number of changes, of which they start to interact in only a week's time, and from the 1st of July flexible furlough is available, and then the amount that the employer has to contribute will slowly increase during August, September and October. One of the biggest announcements on Friday in regards to the furlough scheme was that it will close to any new entrants, i.e. any employees that have not yet been furloughed for a full 3-week period as of the 30th of June. And if that employee has not already experienced the 3-week furlough, they will not be eligible for what they're calling the Job Retention Scheme Part 2, which starts from the 1st of July. This means that to qualify for the full 3 weeks, any employee that is yet to be furloughed needs to be furloughed by next Wednesday, the 10th of June, in order to qualify for the ability to be furloughed at a later date up until the 31st of October. Hopefully, the business you're in is proving successful and continuing to operate, and you don't need to furlough anyone. But it is something to bear in mind if you are currently, as a lot of businesses are doing, flexible in regards to a 3-week overturn with their employees. They're swapping employees, people are taking it in turns. They need to be careful to get any employees that have not yet been on the scheme to be on the scheme by the 10th of June, which, like I say, is a week Wednesday. Flexible furlough. What this is enabling people to do is to bring back employees on a part-time basis while still receiving the support for the hours that they're not working. The support, for example, if someone comes in and does 2 days a week and they normally work 5, you will still receive the support from the government for the 3 days a week where you cannot at the moment find work for them or subsidise the amount of work that that employee would normally do. As you can imagine, there are a number of caveats in regards to this, and people work flexible hours, 0 hours contracts, and the claim for this will be a lot more complicated and a lot more calculations will be required. The government are going to release a lot more further information in regards to how the claim will operate on the 12th of June. But if you do want any more information on how you would calculate it from what we know at the moment, then please get in contact, because I could sit here for literally an hour just running through what we know so far in regards to that. But it means that flexible furlough is coming in on the 1st of July and means that you have the option to bring people back part-time to help build the business back up again as more and more traction is felt within the industry you're involved in. The other big news for employers is that the government will begin to reduce the support they provide into the job retention scheme. This will take effect from the 1st of August and will start with any claims for August being paid only at the 80% of the wages, whilst the employer is then expected to cover the employer's national insurance and pension contributions for the month of August. So for August, you would still get the 80% wages, PAYE, tax, but the employer's NIC element and pension contributions would then be met by the company or the employer. Moving on to September, that stays the same in regards to contributing to the employer's NIC and pension contributions, but then the government will only pay 70% of the 80% wages. So the employer is then expected to find the 10% of the wages plus the pension contributions and the employer's NIC. Moving on to October, again, the government will then provide 60% of that 80%. So the employer is expected to find the 20% plus the NIC and pension contributions. So the relief and the support from the government is slowly being reduced down, but still allowing you to receive 60% in October. Please bear in mind that the employee must receive 80% of their wages under the furlough scheme, and so you cannot then reduce your employees to 60% of their pay. They would still have to receive the 80%, and that is where companies, businesses, employers have to make the decision as to whether they can afford what is effectively 25%. The government feel that the NIC and pension contributions represent 5% of the costs, and it's then moving up to 15% in September and 25% in October as to the overall global costs of bringing an employee back. Lots to think about in that respect, and that is the brief updates on how the government are reducing their support up until when the scheme will definitely close, and that's confirmed by the government on Friday as at the 31st of October. The fact sheet on the latest updates from the government, which only, like I say, came out on Friday, are about 6 or 7 pages long. So if anyone does require further information in regards to the changes to the furlough scheme, has any questions, wishes to discuss anything more in detail, then please do feel free to give me or anyone here a bell, and we will try and help you or point you in the right direction. Like I said, there'll be further updates coming out on the 12th of June from the government in how the calculations are formed for flexible furlough, and hopefully people are starting to enter back into the working environment, especially as today's the 1st of June. I know restrictions are meant to be released again in a couple of weeks' time to allow the shops and so forth to start on the 15th of June. In the meantime, I hope everyone is staying safe and well. Like I say, enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, and I'll be back with a further update on whatever other bits are released from the government as soon as I have them.